Since the dawn of time, when people made really shitty maps and drew weird creatures in the oceans because why the fuck not? Men, women, and children have been thinking of mystical beasts and where to find them.
They dug up the ground and found various bones and put that shit together and said, I could sell this.
They saw the majestic platypus and said, well, that shit ain't real, is it?
They sailed the seas and saw a dugong and said, I could fuck that.
They saw a guy sell a gorilla suit for thousands of dollars, calling it Bigfoot, and said, we can profit off that. Welcome to FunUntitled lists their own top 5 mythical creatures. I am your guy who gets lost in the woods and had to die of hypothermia. But surprisingly, it's cold, but I'm naked. Annie.
You're just naked and afraid. And trying to find love. God, that show is wild.
Well, what's that point about trying to find love?
And I'm Minty, who hates reading shit.
And welcome to FunUntitled, where we serve every monster with F you.
Whoa, we're not...
F me.
That's not our kink. Maybe.
Anyways, so welcome. Like I said, top 5 mythical creatures. I'm basing it off creatures I like seeing in media, and I get really jazzed about it. Like, oh, hell yeah. I can read several more stories with fairies.
Is there a really good series that does stuff like that? Because, like, a series can have fairies, but they never, like, be, like, world-building fairies. You know what I mean?
I think you're forgetting about Tinkerbell.
I've never seen Tinkerbell.
And Winx Club.
See, okay, what I don't like is when they're just, like...
a small thing that just flies.
I mean, it's just, it's just the modern world. It just looks a little different. Because the closest I can really think of is, like, the Flintstones. You know what I mean? Like, how to get dinosaurs to do, like, the it's a living kind of shit. That's the closest I feel like I get to, like, good world building in terms of, like, focusing on, like, one of these mythical creatures that already exist. Because they'll do world building for, like, humans.
Okay, kids, well, you have to understand the Flintstone. It was a cartoon about a caveman. No, they don't. It's a caveman family, but they don't have technology. So how the writers got around that is that every technology you have was replaced with a dinosaur. So, like...
And we're not talking about, like, the iPhone. We're talking about, like, a sink or a shower.
Or the garbage disposal.
Like, the 18th century's definition of technology.
Like, they had little dinosaurs, like, when at a bowling alley, have those dinosaurs, like, put back together pins so that you can go bowl again.
And yet, when it came to cars, they just walked. Wasn't that weird? Well, they literally had a dinosaur for everything, but dinosaurs running was off the table.
It's kind of like a skateboard butt, you know? Like, you have to walk for the momentum with the wheels, but then the wheels would carry you at certain points.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you kind of just have to give the head start in the beginning. I don't know how they turn.
I feel like that head start could have still been a dinosaur. Or just ride a dinosaur.
Imagine this short of this guy, like, can you check my GPS of where we're going? So he opens the glove compartment and there's a rat. And the rat's like, I don't know, I think you gotta jog the memory here. Like, oh, just give him the peanuts inside the car.
It's like, why does the rat not already have access to the peanuts? Why must I give the rat peanuts?
Like, just do it. But yeah, that's Flintstones. But I just said fairies as like an example, dude. Fairies aren't on my list.
You can replace the name, but it's still gonna be the same because Twilight does not do world building on vampires.
Other than the stupid things about how they're in the Catholic Rome.
What?
In the second movie, Edward is so sad that he can't be with Bella. He tries to like out himself in front of like the vampire pope because that's the only way he could think about how he could kill himself because, you know, vampires can't die normally. So he was trying to get like the head of the vampires to kill him, and the head would definitely kill him if he outed himself to all of Italy.
What?
You heard me. For some reason, he just had to go out into the sunlight. People had to see him sparkle and it was like, vampire! Other than like, hey, we're in Europe. I think gay men exist here.
Would think. Not like they've invented that.
So, I'm going off of my number 5 choice. I saw this in an episode from Dropout called Actually, and I've been in love with it ever since. I love I'm gonna butcher this name, I'm gonna try really hard. The Manananga. And it's basically,
Oh, that's the Filipino vampire.
Yes.
That was actually my number 5 for until you remind me of another creature I like.
So, like, during the day, the Manananga...
Just say the Filipino vampire.
The Filipino vampire. This guy is a beautiful woman, but at night, she transforms into an evil monster. Her upper torso detaches from her lower half, and she flies away looking for her next victim with her bat-like wings as intestines trail from her split split body.
That's such a cool idea.
What's fucked up is her number one prey is sleeping women, and she sucks up fetuses through her tongue.
Does it get a little weirdly sexist when a mythical female creature is all about placenta, babies, lost children, other like widows, and you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that. Oh, this is a ghost of a woman who got vexed by her ex-fiance.
Yeah, it's always like emotion driven, but like a male creature is just like, I like sexy virgin women. And it's like, well, why can't women just like sexy virgin males?
I feel like a lot of men ghosts are men who died in the war.
Oh yeah, those are good ones.
But I don't know. I love the concept of a person split in half. That's why I love them magic shows.
This is what Dio should have been, JoJo.
A sexy woman.
No, shut up. I mean a Filipino vampire.
Oh, okay.
Because then it makes sense why his head can move and why he's always like making babies.
Yeah. Who's your number 5?
My number 5, I mean, it's kind of a basic animal, but I like the mermaid because I like underwater themed things. I like nautical things, but I'm not like Little Mermaid type of mermaid. And I'm not necessarily talking about monstrous mermaids. I just mean like mermaids that actually look like real fish and that they'll have like different adaptations to represent the animal. Like if they're like the gulpin eel, then they gotta have like a really big underjaw so that they can swallow big prey. Or like if they're a turtle, they have like a turtle shell on their, you know what I mean?
Yeah, if you're an anglerfish, if you're a dude, you're really tiny. If you're a woman, you have a giant floating light bulb.
Yeah, or if you're a female, you just have this lump and like, that's the husband. And the second lump is the second husband.
Okay, but you're looking at my boobs.
The lumps, the husbands are on the hip, dumbass. Although one of them could have been on the boob.
They do not watch game theory about what they think of mermaids to look like.
No, I don't mean like, oh, what would scientifically look like a mermaid. I just mean like let's use real animals and have like real features and like a new way to teach people about cool animals. And then you look at the real animal like, holy shit, the gulpin eel will fuck you up. So it's like an eel with the mouth of a pelican, if I'm using this creature's name right.
I was a fish. I think I would be a sexy one.
I always think the ribbon eel is the sexiest fish out in the ocean.
Weird fact you have at the top of your head. Oh, do you remember Power Rangers Mystic Force?
No, I don't. You keep bringing this shit
There's
up.
2 girls in it. One was the mermaid, one was a fairy. And do you agree with the theory? It's just 2 sisters. One will always like mermaids and one will always like fairies.
Do you like mermaids or do you like fairies?
I don't give a shit about either one, but I'm not your sister.
I like mermaids.
Alright, moving on to number 4. I put the Grim Reaper. I love... Yes, it's a mystical creature. They don't exist. So fun fact about the Grim Reaper. The Grim Reaper's first appearance was during the world's worst pandemic, the Black Plague.
Well,
no?
I mean...
Did COVID beat the Black Plague?
I just mean, what do you count as the worst plague, right?
Oh.
Like, it only affected Europe.
It still killed a third of Europe.
Sure, but COVID is killed. It affects the whole world. And hasn't it reached like not a billion, obviously. A billion's too much for COVID to have killed. But definitely more than a million.
Yeah, but you have to imagine this is back in the Dark Ages where, like, we only had so many people.
Somebody figure out a percentage-wise of how much COVID is killed and how much the Black Plague is killed.
I know anti-vaxxers are like, hey, we got rid of the Black Plague without vaccines.
Well, we're not looking to kill 1/3 of the infected area. Because, my God, like, that means almost like 1 person of every family would be dead then. Almost.
But anyway, I love the Grim Reaper concept. And, like, I like how Soul Eater did it. I think they kind of fumbled the bag at the end. I say that phrase a lot lately.
Would Zoe have the best motifs of a Grim Reaper in your mind?
Yeah, it ain't Black Butler.
No, Black Butler one's terrible. But they're not really Soul Reapers in what I think of Soul Reapers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, you know, they have the cool swords, but, like, I don't imagine Soul Reapers as, like, samurais with really cool magic powers.
I do like Family Guy.
Oh, you know...
That's almost the first Grim Reaper you ever meet. At least we did.
Yeah, well...
When you're young and you watch a lot of Adult Swim.
This is a fun story on my part. You're watching Family Guy as a child. I remember back in, like, 1st grade, you're watching Family Guy. And this is beginning Family Guy. It's, like, deceptively cute, you know? It's not like current Family Guy where, like, right off the bat, it's just crude.
Right.
So, like, at one point, like, he is trying to find Death a girlfriend. So he tried to charade intercourse.
Yes.
So I have to go to my mother. Like, mind you, I'm, like, 6. And I'm like, Mom, what's intercourse? Like, where did you hear that, sweetie? That guy did it. He said it on TV. 3. What do you think it is? He held his nose and went down. So I have to assume like scuba diving? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's intercourse.
With the ocean.
I just like the concept of Grim Reaper. You know, it's like, oh, hey, you die, but don't worry, there's a bro there to like guide your soul to the afterlife. Because like Grim Reaper, like they are scary because that is scary. But if you think about it, his job is very nice.
No, yeah, I think it is. I just think when it's like, oh, like even like Soul Eater, right? It's a Soul Reaper fighting monsters, right? Like that's not what a Soul Reaper does. You could call him literally anything else. Soul Reaper makes no sense, especially for Bleach.
The Soul Reaper we all know has a scythe, which is the most useless weapon.
Oh my god, you know what? We didn't talk about Death Note. Let the Shinigamis we want.
Oh, the useless motherfuckers we want.
Drop me a book. I want to see it. I'm gonna start writing some names down. I would almost do the eye thing.
Would you?
I think I might.
Okay, but would you do it to read people's names or you want to see the life expectancy?
To kill people off.
Alright. Okay, who's your number 4?
My number 4 is the majestic, the most beautiful, the Griffin! Peter Griffin.
Oh, I'm surprised you didn't put hippogriff.
The horse mermaid?
No, that's a kelpsie.
No, Kelpsie. I mean, I guess they are a horse. You mermaid too. No, but like the hippocampus, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a horse mermaid. Kelpsies are a little different because they're like horses of the ocean.
Alright.
No, I like
seahorses.
Shut the fuck up. Let me talk about the Griffin.
From Harry Potter.
Look, what's cooler than combining the king of the land animals and the king of the sky animals? The Griffin! And then letting the church say, hey, the Griffin represents a union, so you can't fucking divorce. And we're gonna use the Griffin as a symbol that you cannot divorce.
Oh, that explains a lot about Family Guy.
Why Lois never left Peter, even though she should have. And Marge, I was gonna say the mom from Bob's Burger, but actually they have a really cute relationship.
Who deserves a divorce more, Lois or Marge? It's gotta be Lois, right?
I don't know. Marge is a good answer too. That's a different episode. I just think the Griffin is majestic, and then when you like start changing the combination, like it's gonna be really cool. Like the second like common one is like the snow owl and the snow leopard. Like that's cool as fuck, yo.
What is a griffin, technically? Like, it's not a chimera.
No.
Like, it has to be an eagle head and a lion's body.
Essentially, I mean that's the classic version of a griffin, right? Head of an eagle. Usually the front limbs are like the talons, and then the body and the hind legs of lion, and the wings of an eagle, of course. Like that's just the classic griffin. But I'm like, but you could change it up. Like, what if you did like a small chickadee and a house cat, and they just run around your house being all cute and naughty?
Now, FMK, you have a griffin, a chimera, and a sphinx.
Well, you would kill the sphinx because he talked to you in riddles. You'd marry the griffin because they're noble, and you'd fuck the chimera because it's got 3 penises.
Alright, moving on.
Or vaginas.
To my number 3, I put a Nephilim.
Oh, what?
A half angel, half demon.
Oh my god.
The word Nephilim is loosely translated as giants in the Bible, but some Jewish explanations interpret them as hybrid sons of fallen angels. And thus media, like Diablo, ran with it and called them half angel, half demon babies.
Wait, is this like Satan, who is a fallen angel? Or is this like the Antichrist?
Like Antichrist.
You basic ass fucking undecidable bitch who couldn't decide if they like angels or demons more.
Well, guess what, bitch? I like Nephilim ever since Supernatural.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, there was a kid there who was like a child between an angel and a human.
Oh, wait, that's different.
Yeah.
I thought it had to be half angel, half demon.
Actually, you're right. Fuck Supernatural. I think I really like angel and demon themes, so of course I was gonna put this on.
Because you're undecisive. Fuck. And you're basic as a bitch can be.
Hey, let's move on because you know how you said I couldn't choose between angel and demons?
Uh-huh.
Let's just say I feel like we're going to talk more about angels and demons later on.
Oh, you piece of shit.
Who's your number 3?
I picked what all flat earthers believe in.
Oh, God.
The world turtle. That's flat.
I personally believe in 2 elephants holding up a
No,
globe.
fuck the 2 elephant theory. We all live on a fucking turtle. The turtle is a slow-moving, giant, old creature that can house the entire planet within its back. Not even the planet, the whole cosmos within its back. That's why we live on a world turtle.
We all live on a world turtle.
To be honest, I really just like this concept after Torterra.
Yeah, well.
Torterra. It's like my favorite, one of my favorite Pokemon of all time.
Do you think when there's an earthquake, it's 2 world turtles kind of going,
There's no 2 world turtles. There's only 1 world turtle.
oh, isn't that lonely?
The world turtle is so huge that when things happen to the world turtle, we don't notice it. Because we are just one small speck. That's like saying like if an ant was on your body and you had a heart attack, the ant ain't gonna fucking know you're having a heart attack.
No, but the ant will suddenly in like 5 minutes be like, food? Food?
That's different though.
Do you think ants can tell if I'm dead or are they constantly trying to eat me?
That's a good question.
It's gotta be the dead one.
You think they can tell if you're dead?
I think you know how like ants they put on their own pheromones? Like I probably put out some stank juice out from my rotting flesh.
No, but that's like your body's rotting. Your body's not sending out pheromones like I'm now dead. What would the pheromones even say? I did watch this video where like, so we all know like that when grass gets cut, it lets out that smell, and that smell is actually just like the distress signal to let other plants know that something's happening. Apparently, they can tell when it's like mechanical damage like that, and when they're getting eaten. So if they're getting eaten, they'll send out another pheromone to attract other animals, in hopes that like a bird would come and eat the bug eating the grass, because the bird wouldn't care about grass.
That's fucked up, yo.
Your body doesn't fucking do that. That's what I'm trying to get at. Your body doesn't send out a pheromone saying necromancers, fuck me. Sorry, not necromancers. That's a different one.
Necrophilias. Moving on to my number 2, because you have a wood turtle.
I'm so funny. I don't understand why no one cares.
I think I might have a trend with my creatures here
Because you're a basic fucking bitch.
I put the Doulahan from Irish folktale. So, as you know from the Doulahan, the common definition is a headless person riding a black horse. What you don't know about the Doulahan is that if they pass you on the horse, you'll be punished by having a bucket of blood thrown in your face or blind in one eye. It depends what the Doulahan has on hand. And if he ever completely stops and calls you a name, you die. So you better hope that horse keep going like the Energizer Bunny.
Is that why Celtic was never allowed to talk in Durarara?
I think that's technically because she didn't have a head.
Then how does the Doulahans talk?
Well, if you have your head, the head works as a head. So like sometimes the Doulahan will lift their head up into the sky, and like they have great sight, so they can see through like great distances.
I'm sorry, but to me, a Doulahan does not have a head.
To me, a Doulahan has the head right on the side, like the jack-o'-lantern man.
Ghost Rider.
Yeah. So I don't know why I love the concept of people being chopped up. That serial killer vibes, I don't know. Do not swat me.
Yeah, why does all yours involve death?
You don't know my number 1.
No, but like 2 to 5. Vampire, Grim Reaper, Nephilim, Doulahan. Or as I like to say, do-da-da-da.
La.
Do-da. That show sucks. I don't know how that show got so fucking popular. That show fucking sucks.
The ending, and the one gay couple.
That gay couple didn't like each other at all.
They didn't, but we wanted
It was
them.
never gonna work.
I move on to your basic ass list. 'Cause I know at least one of your this top 2. And I swear to God, I'm gonna call this out right now, okay? I swear to God, the unicorn and Kieran are not 2 separate creatures. They're both horses with horns on their heads.
They're not horses with horns on their head.
So you better say unicorn and werewolf.
I'm not gonna say werewolf. What am I? Do I look like a
Give me
basic?
a giant story about werewolves.
I know, but do I look like a fucking basic bitch who would say vampires and werewolves on their fucking top 5? I'd say mermaids and unicorn. Unicorn's my number 2.
Is that not your number 1?
No, I'm not a fucking basic bitch, I told you. The unicorn's the number 2 because they're beautiful, they're sexual, and I love the interpretation that they are man-eaters. That they use their beauty to attract all people to them, saying, hey, no matter what your gender, sexuality, race, political views, ideologies are, I'ma fucking eat you. You're dead, bitch. You saw me because I was beautiful, but you didn't see this big chomping teeth that's meant to chew you to bits and shit you out like glitter and confetti.
What is wrong with your definition of unicorn?
I love the unicorn. I think the big phallic horn symbol is just a means of getting some dick in their mouth to chew on. I think they'll look beautiful with wings so that they can fly overhead and scoop you up like the eagle does with small dogs on the east coast of America. That way they can take you home to their little baby unicorns and they tear you apart like quarters.
Minute 22 is what your preview is, Minty. Teacher note how we advertise this episode.
The unicorn! They're beautiful and majestic.
I'm pretty sure your interpretation of unicorn is not like anyone else's interpretation.
No, that's a real interpretation that they eat people. That's like the original interpretation. That
Honest
is,
to God.
yes, if you Google it, that's like the Bible's interpretation of a. No, not even an interpretation. This is the Bible's description and genesis of the unicorn.
Remember when Jesus rode in on that unicorn and they had to get rid of it because the unicorn started eating people? Fucked up, yo.
All I'm saying is that the word unicorn is in the Bible.
Really?
I'm pretty sure. I think it's in the Bible, but like some translations change the word unicorn to something else.
Speaking of the Bible, my number 1 mystical creature
Is Jesus?
Yes.
Is that why you won't
Jesus.
fucking stop saying Jesus?
It's angels. According to the Kabbalah, angels exist as a task of God. After an angel has completed its task, it ceases to exist.
What religion is that?
It's one of the books from like the 3 that Abraham's sons founded religions.
My favorite definition from Bibles is the Jewish one, where I believe. No, shoot, I'm sorry, I'm thinking of demons.
What's demon's definition?
In Jewish religion, I believe believe, originally, demons are described to work for God, to tempt humans, to test humans.
You know how awesome that office probably must be then?
I mean, it's basically a division of labors.
Yeah.
Angels are like to give wisdom, and devils are to test them to see like, do you believe in God? Like, are you Job? Are you, after I take away your family, your livelihood, your stock, and then your life, are you gonna be like Job and say like, yeah, I still believe in God, and then get all your shit back?
And a new wife.
Not a new wife.
I think he got a new wife after the first wife died.
That's bullshit. Why would he get a new wife?
Because God says I can't bring back the dead, but you can get a new side thing.
He died.
He got a hotter model.
Oh God.
Okay, if you had to be one angel from the Bible, who would it be? I would 100% be the angel who was like, Abraham, don't kill your son. It was a test. You pass. Go kill the sheep instead, and we'll call it a day.
Like that, because like the first one thing was Gabriel, right? Mary, you will get pregnant without dick. And she's like, all right, he's old and nasty anyways, and I'd like a baby. Even though she's like canonically 14, but whatever, right? You know what I want to be? I want to be when Moses is in the desert and he sees a bush on fire. It's like, whoa, the bush ain't burning, but it's clearly on fire. And the angel comes like, stop looking at the bush, bitch.
You are high. You are on medieval LSD, my man.
Oh, someone's talking to me. Take your fucking sandals off. Oh God, now. Whoa.
We Asian now. I didn't know we were like them Chinese.
That's what they said in the Bible.
Take your shoes off.
Yes, I said take your shoes.
What? It's a hot desert. Why are you taking your shoes
because
off?
he was in the presence of God or the angel.
Are you telling me only white people put their shoes on inside houses? If like people back then in the Middle East were taking shoes off because they knew that shit was nasty, but Europeans couldn't figure that out?
I guess. Yeah.
White people, you nasty.
Anyways, so, wait, okay, the number one is angels.
Yeah.
Because
I really like the concept. I like the fact they have a tier system. I like biblically accurate.
you name me the 9 levels of angels.
Bullshit.
No, tell me.
Sephirim.
That's like number 6.
How do you know that? That's the devil's number. I'm not continuing anymore. You must be tempted me, but the devil. Trying to test my fate.
You know, you should have said when I was watching Neon Genesis and those fucking angels came down to Earth and tried to kill us all. I'm really bad with that.
How do you pronounce the word faith, F-A-I-T-H, and fate, F-A-T-E?
The homonyms.
Are they?
Clearly.
No. It's like fate and faith.
Just because they're spelled differently doesn't mean they're not homonyms.
We should pronounce fate as fatty. It's a fatty. Like, what's your number one? I'm on Wordle in like the most amazing way. Where like, 4 guesses was done. I had my own last chance, and I did the word temp, and it was the word. And that's why I got to go first. And now I wanted to go first because I knew that Angels wasn't going to be that much of a great like episode ender. So I'm really hoping that you clinch this and that you have a great number one that we can end this with.
You also said earlier in this episode, don't say the Kieran.
And you shouldn't. Because I know you're obsessed with the Kieran because it's a deer unicorn.
What's my number one?
It's the same thing. It's literally the name.
Not. It's a Chinese unicorn. I'm so fucking Asian. The Kieran is my favorite creature.
Name me one thing about the Kieran.
The Kieran is half unicorn, half dragon, half deer. Because a deer is a sacred animal, I guess, in Chinese. Even though I'm like, are there deers in Asia? I guess so.
Yeah, Princess Mononoke had that giant deer.
She had a what?
You gotta watch Princess
Was it not a
Mononoke.
wolf?
No, she rode a wolf, but the protector of the forest was a deer. Okay, here's the answer you know. Shikamaru had a deer.
Okay, sure. Guess that's the end of that.
I think the biggest Chinese deer, you know, like the biggest deer ancestor, whatever it's called, the thing that we could get in
Oh, the
Animal Crossing.
megabuck.
I'm pretty sure that was in Asia. What? Yeah,
Crazy.
the megabuck, that Bitcoin.
But I like the kid because basically, imagine a deer with dragon scales on it and beautiful hair like a unicorn. Sometimes they're interpreted with one horn like a unicorn, but I like the dual ones where it's more like a ram shape, where it's like 2 on like the temples, or you know what I mean? And I really like it when it curls around like their heads in some way.
I think it's weird how like our little animal mascots represents like kind of a horse hybrid for you, and mine's like a little devil thing for me.
Because I love kittens, and you're a basic ass bitch who likes angels and demons.
Alright, get in the comments who did a better job.
The kitten! That was Sasuke's like one of his signature moves.
Goodbye, everyone.